Um,
Got
if
it.
you could do that, it would be awesome.
Yep. All done.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hello, Cindy. Geez, long time no see.
I know, right?
I think it's been less than 3 hours, right? Ladies, I was looking into Cindy's calendar and I've gone, well, I could do, like a week in advance, or I could do midnight last night. And I've gone, I'll do midnight and I'll make it only an hour, 2 hours later. I'm like, shit, I've got to get up in less than 3 hours. I'm over at Michelle's Coffee Club. You should go there, but I'm not missing it.
Well, Misty, I love you show pictures of the kids and of the dogs. And how do you have so much time doing all this? And where do you have time for all that? I only have 24 hours in a day. I've decided that you and Kathy Weaver both
Oh,
have
yeah, no,
a
Kathy's a
different
robot.
thought than I do.
No, Kathy's actually a robot, or there's 4 of them, and they work endlessly around the planet. So that's Kathy's secret.
Okay.
Mine just looks
Yeah.
like I'm busy since Kathy's taught me how to just and this is how she's taught me to do some things. She says, oh, that's really good. And I'm like, shit, I better learn how to do that from my phone then.
Now, let me just tell you, and it's wonderful to see you guys, number one, but what just happened at HNP Worldwide? We have HNP Rocks the Night every Wednesday night at, I don't know, but check in your co-op back office. We just the second during the breakout room launched HNP Weekend, which will be 9 a.m. Pacific time every single Wednesday. Again, check your co-op back office. We're not sure of the launch date yet. And we already have HNP Recruiters Network. So if you have an affiliate marketing program with your company, multi-level marketing, direct sales, real estate brokerage, insurance agency, and you're looking for more agents, more brokers, more reps, that is going to be on this third Thursday night of every month. Again, check your co-op back office. Everybody loves networking. This is going absolutely incredible. And you listened and we have responded. So in the spotlight, you're going to get 5 minutes to speak about your company. And that's going to be at the nighttime networking and the Saturday weekend networking. And then for the recruiting, we're going to spin a wheel and you will actually be able to share your income opportunity and what are you not supposed to talk about? Income opportunity and recruiting. About both of those. So it's going to be phenomenal. And we do need co-hosts for the weekend. And I think we need 3 more for the nighttime. We just had a DJ sign up while we were on the call. So I'm telling you what, my friends, networking is rocking it for real. Look at this screen. This is a perfect example. Networking is rocking it. So congratulations for you guys. Keep those ideas coming because Edwin does listen.
Kathy,
this is robot number 2 speaking.
Yeah, got it. So, Kathy, when I was selling furniture back when I was 30 years old, so we're going 16 years ago, right? When I was selling furniture, I said to my boss, and where I was living in Canberra, right, which is the capital of Australia, and there was a lot of buildings getting built and like hotels and things. And I said to my boss, how do I find the owner to a hotel? So I'm 30, right? So I've been in sales for over 18 years. And she said, why? And I said, because there's a lot of hotels being built. And while can't sell them other furniture because they'll have specific plans for what like each room will look like in the furniture relation to, what each room looks like. And I said, but every hotel needs beds and it's just a mattress and a base. They're all exactly the same. So I need to find a hotel builder so that then I can talk to them about mattresses. And here's what she said. I don't know, but when you work it out, can you let me know too, right? What was it? 5 years later, I'm not selling furniture anymore. And I discovered, or 6 years later, I discovered networking. So I'm about 35, 36 years old, right? And I discovered networking. I go into my first networking event. It was because I was doing a diploma in life coaching, and there was this one component that topic that I'd avoided for 6 months on networking. I started to read, thought, I don't understand what that is. I get to the end of the whole manual and I've gone, I have to do that networking part or I can't move on. So I went back, sat down with it, pen and paper, and it told me what a networking event was, what it would look like, questions to ask while you're there, what to do. Like, it was a whole manual on how to do it. And so anyhow, I wrote down the questions, did the thing, said, go to the Chamber of Commerce, do this. And then I turn up. I turn up with, I get a name badge. So I turn up to the Chamber of Commerce. I've got a list of questions. I'm there by myself. I mean, I didn't even think this thing existed. I've just gone, I'm following the instructions, but I'm expecting to turn up at the Bureau of Statistics, to nothing at, at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock at night, right? Like, nothing will be open. I turn up, people are in there, everyone's having a drink, exactly as it said. And then I go up to these two ladies. I still remember who they are. Two ladies. They're from an accounting firm. It was named Hawthorne's. Like, I still remember 11 years ago this was. And I said, hi, ladies. I look at my notes. Have you ever been where are you from? Have you ever been networking before? And they've gone, no. And I said, then what brings you out tonight? Our boss said we had to be here. Right. I'm going through a list. I have a list of questions. I read a manual today. I'll ask you questions. You answer them. I'll answer them. We'll go from there, right? So I went through the questions. They answered them. I answered them. And I said, all right. So I think I've got what I'm supposed to do now. I'll give you the list of questions. You go ask someone else and I'll do this, right? And when I started to do this, I've looked and I'm hearing, oh, you're from an accounting firm and you're from this. And then there was someone from a cleaner. And I've suddenly looked at the room and gone, if ever I was to find the builder of a hotel, it would be here. Oh my God, I have just found the magic ingredient to sales that I have been looking for over 18 years. It's here at a networking event that I've never heard of before, even though I've been a salesman for over 18 years. And because I was a salesman in the hospitality and the retail industry, doesn't exist. Networking didn't exist in those industries. It existed in all the professional services, accounting, mortgage broking, real estate, lawyers. They did it. For hospitality and retail, never heard of it before. And then it was at that moment that I've gone, right, I'll drop the life coaching and I'll put it all back into sales because I now found the missing thing that I have been looking for years and years and years. And I kid you not, it has not let me down in 11 years. You will never go into a room where people are so excited to find out what it is that you do than at a networking event. And this is the secret to all sales. Actually being in a room where people are super interested in finding out what it is that you do. It's quite amazing.
One of the things I feel that is a detail that might be missing from a lot of our lives, a person who purchased a water machine from me most recently, I've known her for years. She's precious, single mom. She just got married again, that whole drill. And I remembered her dog's name. So I saw her networking virtually and I said, oh my gosh, da-da, it's so great to see you again. How's da-da? And she said, how on earth, and it was probably 3 years ago, pre-COVID stuff. And she said, how on earth do you remember her name? And I said, oh my gosh, she's adorable. You showed me a picture on your phone and I just remember that vividly. She bought a water machine, my friends. And building relationship piece is attention to detail, absolutely. But you just never know the impact that you're going to have on someone's life. And Misty, you're the host now. Could you please make me a co-host in case we lose the call? Because Michelle's apparently having connection trouble. But the bottom line is the building relationship part that Michelle teaches us here in Coffee Club is the biggest piece that I can even imagine for relationship building opportunities, and definitely having Misty here to give us tips. So I really mean it. I remembered her dog's name. By the way, are you still doing that water stuff? And I was like, what? And she goes, I think I'd like to get a machine now. And she wasn't even there for that. And I was like, holy moly. And so please consider the attention to detail piece. And I never think it's an accident when we meet someone, because we do have a product or service that someone needs. You bought it.
That's right. There's not a thing that I've like a person I've met who sells a thing at networking that nobody needs.
Correct.
I've never come across it in 11 years. Solid networking. Like I'm like Kathy, right? We go to at least 3 weekly networking events, have done 4 years, like solidly 4 years, right? At least 3, right? We're probably way more than that. But I haven't met a person who sells something that people don't need ever. And like the whole group, you look at it and you go, oh, yep, we'll probably all run into that before the end. Like we all need it at some point, maybe not just now, but at some point we all do. I started with the Chamber of Commerce for the first like 9 months of networking, and then I got into a BNI chapter. And because I had networked so hard, like I went from that one networking event to deciding I'll go to as many networking events as I possibly can, so that then I can work out how to use it as a sales tool. And that's where a lot of my sales comes from, is really how to use networking as a sales tool. And so I went to these big events and small events and obscure things. And so people would see me. It was really bizarre, like the people that went out networking, and then I go, oh, look at you over there, but I saw you over there. And so, and someone would be at BNI, but there'd be this tiny little one, right? And then I was a big Chamber of Commerce, and there'd be these other well-known things. And so I would run into the same people a number of times. And so within 6 months, that's how I got the name the Networking Queen, is because basically the whole of Canberra gave it to me. But then when I joined my BNI chapter, which was, 9 months later, they wanted to make me vice president. I was there for 3 weeks. They wanted me to be vice president, and the president and the director said she can't be. She doesn't know the BNI rules yet, so she can't be. She needs to learn how to do this. You need to pick someone else who's been here longer. And half the group knew me from all these different networking things, and they said, but she knows most of us by accident. She already knew us, and she knows networking. And we believe in her, and she can do it. And I'm like, well, if you say I can do it, I'll do it, right? Not having any idea what I was putting my hand up for. So against the director's wishes, I got put in, right? Turns out the vice president runs the entire group. You think it's the president. The president hosts the meeting, but the vice president is in charge of attendance and the rules and making sure people turn up, right? And my job, so imagine this, I'm a woman. I was 35 years old, or 36 years old, right? I'm a woman who was technically probably older than most of the people. They were probably sitting at about 30, right? But they were all professional suits, and they'd been in their job for over 10 or 12 years, whereas I'm a sales trainer, entrepreneur, just stepped out, doing it this way, just learning about networking. They've been out for a long time. So business-wise, they had years and years and years and years and years of experience over me. And then I was in charge of all of them. And the president of the group had been recently dumped by his girlfriend that he'd been living with for over 8 years. And so he basically hated women. And I was one of the very few there. And I was in charge of the rules. So I had to learn how to be in charge. I don't mind rules, but I had to learn how to be in charge while not being hated by everybody. And how I did it, right, was at every meeting. Well, first off, I had to listen to their elevator pitch and had to listen to go, all right, who's that person? Because I didn't know who they were, right? So who's that person? There's over 20 of them. What do they do? And so I would start to write down their names. When I heard them say it, which the majority of people don't say their name, they just plow straight into their elevator pitch. I'm like, God, who was that? Who was that? So I discovered this really cool thing with BNIs. They give you like a run sheet to say the order of the meeting. And on the other side, it's got all the members in it. And we were notoriously bad for inviting visitors. So all I had to do was tick off the people on the back like it's just the meeting people, right? And so I'm listening for their name, trying to go down the list and tick off who was there. So I was like marking roll every week and then trying to write down what people did because I couldn't work it out. Every week they changed the elevator pitch. So every week, and they're going, oh, well, who was the person who did that other thing? And I've gone, that's the accountant. No, because the accountant does this thing over here. So I'd start to have this image of everyone, but it seemed like a different group of people every week because their pitch changed so dramatically every week, which is now starting to teach me, right? Back then was teaching me, if you change your pitch, how's everyone supposed to remember who you are? Because this is really, really hard. And you're not saying your name. How are we supposed to remember who you are? I collected all of their business cards And I'm hearing about, well, who's the accountant? Who's the mortgage broker? Did anyone say that? Because I'll just put that back to the business card. Well, how am I supposed to remember who you are, right? So because I was trying to write notes of these things until I got used to the people, then I'd start to mark the role, right? What I did was I would turn up to the meeting and then I'd say, I'll be in charge of the name tags. I mean, if you're forgetting your name to bring your name tag, give it to me. I'll carry it around all week. I'll bring it. And so I would take everybody's name tags and then I would put it back out. So because I was handing out their name tags at the beginning, I was starting to know that person, that name, you know. So I left them not in charge of their own name tag because people were rubbish at bringing their own names. You would know this, Kathy, from being at Chamber of Commerce. They were rubbish. So I became in charge of that so that I could remember their name. But my real secret was learning to just write down everybody's name and ticking it off, right? That person's here, that person's here, that person's here. Put it back to the original list of people, who's here, who's not. Over the years of doing this, I was there for 3 years. I remember, oh no, a year and a half in, I was having a one-to-one with one of the new members and he said, wow, how do you keep control of all of these people? Because I know you're not just here. You're at all these other events, you're bringing all these visitors. How do you keep control of all of these people? Here was my answer, and it's never changed in 11 years. I write down the names of every people I networked at that meeting, every single meeting. So at BNI, it was easy. You were sitting there when they say it, they would do it. And then I could critique them and say, you didn't say your name, you should say your name. You know, if there's a visitor, nobody knows who you are, right? I'd go to the Chamber of Commerce, I collect business cards, like as many as I could. And then I would write a list of all the names of the people that were there, so that then I had it. So my constant having to write down that list, which seems like a waste of time in handwritten form, right? The waste is, I would start to remember them from different groups. Like Kathy said, I would just start to remember them from different groups. Then I would invite them around places. And then as you write down their name in a different order, every single time, because sometimes they're at the top of the list, sometimes at the bottom of the list. As you do this every single time, you start to remember who they are, what they do, little bits about them, and you see them in different lights because they show up in a different spot on your list. And there'll be other people sitting around and you go, oh, I've just come up with an idea to batch you two together. Oh, I didn't see that before because someone might have been up here and someone was down here. Then sometimes, when I did my very first talk, I'd write down all the people you know now. So it's all the people from all the lists, one big long list. So I could do a invited you, tick, invited you, tick, invited you, tick. Then for fun, every now and then I would just get out the notepad and write a list of every person I could remember their name. How many are there really? So it would make me remember, when you remember their name, you start to remember little bits and pieces. And that has been one of the big things that I teach now is always write the list of people, have one notebook with a list of people per each event, because that by itself will have you remember more people than anyone else at any other event as well.
Can you imagine, ladies, being able to hear from people that say you can't really build relationships on a screen? I've never met Misty in person. I've never met Sandy or Cindy or Nancy or even Terry Ann yet in person. And can you imagine what it is like to be able to do it on a screen? Now watch this. Misty, I'm going to spin a wheel.
Uh-huh.
I would like you, if you would be willing, to do the infomercial of the person that this lands on.
Yeah.
All right. Cindy. Misty, you are now Cindy Cowan. Take it away.
I'm Cindy Cowan. I am the Texas oil lady, and I am a doTERRA oiling specialist. So doTERRA oiler consultant. I sell doTERRA essential oils. One of the ones I sell is lavender oil, which costs $30 per bottle. And the people who buy it want to relax more, sleep well, and just have some comfort thing to help them feel good and relax over the course of the day.
Beautiful. Guess what, Cindy? Guess whose infomercial you'll be doing?
I would hope Misty.
Yeah,
As much as we've talked in 2 days.
that's right. Seriously. All right. Cindy, you get to do Terry.
I don't know her at
You might have
all.
to push it back to Misty.
Yeah.
This is my first time here, so
Is Misty the only one on the screen that you know?
you and Misty, that's it.
Okay, then yes, go ahead and do Misty's then. That would be absolutely great.
Well, Miss Misty is a absolutely wonderful sales trainer. In the 4 hours that I've talked to her in 2 days, she has blown my mind with sales tips, elevator speech ideas. She is just amazing on how to listen to people and to talk to them about their needs and don't, just listen. That's all you do. I'm just listening. That's what a big take from Misty. So there you go.
Now, can you imagine honestly, okay? The good news is when there is someone on a call that you don't know, this is an opportunity, honestly, to be able to see how this is done. But great job on Misty. And the best news for all of us is being able to listen is the coolest thing ever. All right, so let's get Misty off this screen. Terry Ann, this will be the person's infomercial you will do.
Well, just in case I get somebody I don't know, I can do myself. I love it.
No. Do you actually not know someone here?
I know that I've met. Well, I think I could do Sandy. Nancy, I know I've met her. I was looking through my notes. Okay, what do I know about Nancy? Because
Okay.
I've done that. I've got my notebook of every time we met. Who did I network with? And
Okay,
I know
if-
she's in there somewhere.
since you know Sandy, then go ahead and do hers.
Sandy Abate is. If you're looking for bookkeeping, Sandy Abate is the person you want to go to. Sandy will guide you through setting up your bookkeeping system, your budgeting, your debt reduction. She's going to help you find where your money is going so that you can learn more about how to save it and how to use it to your benefit.
Wow. Once again, you see, this puts a different spin on it. Because we'll obviously be able to go and do our own, but that. Okay, so let's take Sandy off the screen. And now, Sandy, you will be, let's shuffle to be fair. You will be doing whose infomercial? Uh-oh. Okay. Have you ever met Kathy?
I have never met Kathy. I have no
Yes.
idea what you do, Kathy.
Oh,
First, I want to sit there and say, Terry Ann, I know we don't network a lot together. I am so impressed that you got my last name right. I have people that I have networked for years that can't do that.
Oh, really?
So yes, so
that's
so
perfect.
that's what excited me. And yes, you did. You touched everything that I do. So yes, I am Kathy Weaver. I believe that everyone needs clean water. I have a system that changes the pH balance of the water to where it's going to be better for your health, better for your skin, can be used as your cleaning projects to water your plants, just even, just for your skin itself. It all requires a different pH level, and my machine is going to give that to you. She's also very passionate about the H&P. And if you ever need to know anything about the H&P, need help with the back office, Kathy Weaver's your person.
Wow, I'd really like to meet her. Thank you. You're awesome, my friend. Sandy has been one of the co-hosts for the Happy Neighborhood Project for Iowa, as a matter of fact. So we get to see each other every week, which is cool, if not more than once. All right, I will be doing fantastic Terry Ann's infomercial. And so my friends, if you have not met Terry Ann Porter yet, she is a woman of God times a million. Her faith rocks her world and her life revolves around it. She has also authored a book. The Proverbs 31 woman, in which she actually has, I call them recipes. They're actually patterns that have to do with knitting. And she weaves scripture into absolutely every single thing that she does. The good news is her book is available on Amazon, and she actually has pictures in there, hello tutorials, for those of us who are not gifted in the knitting craft yet. And the scripture piece, you feel like you actually are opening the word of God every single time she speaks. So if you have not been around Terry Ann Porter yet, her basic premise is life coach TA, hello Terry Ann, and she will be able to take you from here to there, pardon the triple entendre, because the best news is if you are feeling badly about yourself, Terry Ann can lift you up in a million different ways. And again, Bible-based, absolutely. You do not want to miss your opportunity to meet with Terry Ann Porter. All right.
How can I meet this woman? Wow.
Yeah, seriously. All right. So let's see how this will work. Nancy gets Nancy. Who has known Nancy the longest? Have you, Misty?
Yep.
Okay. You would like to do Nancy's? Go right ahead. I just with someone that might be able to nonprofit with her. So I love this. So go ahead.
Yep. So everybody, please meet Nancy Cotton. Nancy Cotton is an Aveni consultant, and she is a autism advocate. So as an autism advocate, she goes out to find other children who are on the autism spectrum, looking to help them and their families with improving the lives of those on the autism spectrum. She has looked for many different products and solutions to help with that. So solutions could be just mind-based things on how to get through the day without a meltdown, but then product-based things. She had done a SIA for a while, but she's found Aveni is even better for those on the autism spectrum to help settle them down. What's the word? It's not relax them, but sort of concentrate more. So kids go into school so that they can concentrate more and get through the day at school and get through things easier without those meltdowns and difficulties that can happen when you're on the spectrum. So that's Nancy Cotton.
Isn't it amazing how our businesses, many of us, have stemmed from our personal needs? Our businesses have stemmed from our personal needs, or we've observed the needs of other people and we have been able to fill that void. So I love that. Nancy, whose infomercial would you like to do? I'm going to let you actually pick.
Okay, and I want to say that this is a personal need that I do because I have a grandchild on the spectrum.
Absolutely.
And so this is very dear to my heart, and I love doing it. Oh my goodness. Well, let's see. I guess I'll do Misty.
Okay.
I want you to meet Misty Hinkle. She is from Australia, and she helps network marketers do a better job and learn how to do the things they need to do to get business for themselves, but also help others. She has a heart for people that are doing network marketing. She's teaching her two sons to do that, and they actually have written 2 books that they're selling at this point. And she is awesome. Everyone needs to meet Misty and be in her classes.
Beautiful. And think about what just happened, my friends. As I mentioned, many of us started our businesses because of a need that we had or a void that we saw in our community, and we wanted to solve that for them. Let's take a picture right now so Michelle will actually know that we've been working. Right. Here we go. Pretty and friends. There you go. I love that, Miss Tiara. All right, excellent. Thank you so much. So honestly, you can imagine, if you will, what your business started. When Misty was mentioning about networking, Dale Carnegie wrote, okay, How to Win Friends and Influence People in 1937, I believe. People are still using that as a teaching tool. how to win friends and influence people. They didn't call it networking back then. They probably didn't call it multi-level marketing. They didn't call it direct sales. They didn't call it network marketing. They didn't call it all the things that networking is now. It was all about meeting people and building relationships. And how much of meeting people and building relationships do we now still incorporate into our networking events? So let's go around the room just so we can do our own infomercials, and you can add what whoever did your infomercial didn't add yet. And please think about that too. When I've done this actually before in public. I'm trying to think different groups. I always have a basket with me. That's my thing. And I always say, put your business card in the basket. And if they didn't have one, I had substitute cards kind of thing, so no one would be left out. And so they are thinking it's for a door prize, and sometimes it was. But I also pass the basket back around, and then I say, pick a card out of the basket that's not yours. And we went around the table because now the basket's in front of them. And so all the cards went back in afterwards for the door prize, of course, but that's whose infomercial you had to do. So the bottom line is, does your business card, whether it's digital or hard copy, have the information on it that would help someone actually know what you do? Your website on there is lovely. A whole bunch of verbiage, who needs that? But does everything that you want people to know about you actually show up on your business card? That's the one right there. Author, trainer, right there, and speaker for sure. Never hesitate to show people what you do and perhaps why you do it. So having a business card, again, digital or hard copy, is super duper important. All right, who wants to go first? Don't be shy. I can't think. Is Michelle not coming back?
Maybe not.
No,
Yeah.
she's at a photography appointment.
Okay, I wanted to make sure that I don't want to keep her kicked out. Check in the breakout room. I mean,
No, that's all right. I'm looking as well.
okay, good. I didn't want to keep her out. Okay, Misty, go right ahead. Tell us about you, my friend.
So I'm Misty Henkel, and yes, I'm in Queensland, Australia. I am a sales trainer, and I sell group sales classes. They cost $150, and the people who buy it want to increase their sales. And we do that through sales practice. Products and services sell themselves. We, the sales trainer, break that. We will practice selling. We tend to do it with the client. This is a group where you can actually practice inside a group. Learn to get it right and wrong inside a group, get it right with the customer. So Misty Henkel, sales trainer.
Can you please tell us what is your very favorite thing about networking?
Opportunity. Networking gives the most remarkable opportunity for people to listen to you and be interested, opportunity to meet people that you would never have met before, who ultimately are, everybody is a client, right? A potential client, really, but a potential physical cash exchange client, but everybody else is a client. We have two sorts of clients, those that buy and those that promote. So every single person is a promotional client opportunity. They understand what you do, they can pass your message on. If you say it simply, they can talk about you. If you turn up consistently, they will talk about you. There's been plenty of times where even now, if I know someone, let's take Kurt Roskoff, who goes to all the HMP stuff. At the moment, he's doing this big project. Like, he's from Wisconsin, but he's doing this big project over in Atlanta, Georgia, I think. So over in Atlanta, and it's right until the end of September. And I was chatting to him, and I said, because you turn up so much, I said, here, look, Kurt, I'll give you permission not to turn up if you're so busy doing this, to these other things. Turn up to the most major things you have to, but other than that, you have the ability, because you've turned up to so many things. And he jumps on Facebook and he says hi to people. I said, when you're missing for too long, we'll go, oh, has anyone seen Kurt lately? And we will talk about you as if you were there. Then when we'll leave that event, we won't realize you weren't there because you've turned up so much before. So opportunity comes in so many ways. Even if you're not there, you don't even know the opportunity you've created for yourself if you turn up so consistently early. So and there's so many more opportunities in there, but it's opportunity all over the place.
That's a beautiful word for a lot of reasons. Terry Ann, you're next on my screen. Tell us about you and what do you love most about networking?
I I like the confidence that I have developed by networking, by getting to practice with others what I want to say. And the one-on-ones that I've met some amazing people through all of it. That's been even better, you know, not because we're not in here. I'm not in here looking for a client. I'm looking in here looking for a connection. And I really enjoy the connections, which has helped to increase my confidence. And every time I get to practice my elevator pitch, it gets better and better and better because of this opportunity.
Let us hear your pitch.
I am Terry Ann Porter, life coach, TA. I enjoy speaking to small groups of women and life coaching. And we talk about defeating those lies of negative self-talk by first changing your perspective. Once you change your perspective, you'll notice there's some possibilities out there for you to explore. Now, pathways are opening. Choose which path you are going to take using proceeding in truth. And that is what we will talk about.
You are incredibly modest, and not everyone knows your Toastmaster journey and the accolades that you have received. And every time, if you have not connected yet with Terry Ann on LinkedIn and or Facebook, every once in a while, very, very modestly, she will hold up one of these dynamic awards that she's received from Toastmaster International. Tell us a little bit about your journey in that arena.
I stepped into Toastmasters. Public speaking is not a problem. I don't mind talking to people. But in Toastmasters, I learned how to get down to what my message was. I kept trying to give a 45-minute presentation in 7 minutes. I never took a breath and my audience left exhausted, having no idea what I talked about. So I've been able to practice and develop and hone into what was I really trying to say. If you're going to give a 45-minute speech, you need 45 minutes. You don't have to give everything in that 5 to 7 minutes. And so I've been able to practice, step out. I've been able to use my Zoom skills behind the scenes, stepped in when the pandemic started. We didn't miss a beat. Immediately, I said, hey, I know this stuff. We went on, we had our conference online, it went flawless. By participating in Toastmasters, by the networking, my self-confidence has grown just tremendously to the point to where I can say, well, last night I gave a speech and we did the good old days and I went in dressed kind of like I did in the 70s. I'm twice the person in size right now as I was in the 70s. But hey, look at the woman I've grown into.
Yeah, that's a beautiful message. If you would be willing, please put your Toastmaster information in the chat as well. If your events are open to the public, as far as are you hybrid or in person or virtual only? So that would be a wonderful way for many of us to get involved.
I would love to invite you to my local club virtually.
Yes, absolutely. Nancy, you're next on my screen, my friend. Tell us what's happening in the world of autism advocacy.
Good afternoon. My name is Nancy Cotton. I am actually from Fort Worth, Texas, and I am an autism advocate. I provide families with a way to lessen the chaos in their lives, from children who have meltdowns, poor eating habits, poor diet, poor sleep, and anxiety, and even when they're nonverbal. And I do this because I have seen parents in my childcare center that I directed for many years come in very bleary-eyed and so frustrated because they didn't get any sleep. And I saw those children chewing on their collars, all kinds of things like that. And so I love blessing families with something that can help them to lessen that chaos. It helps with getting the toxins out. And my name is Nancy Cotton, and I'm an autism advocate.
Who is a client for you? Someone to partner with the autism community, or people who have autistic members of their family? Who's a good referral for you?
mainly parents. I'm talking with parents. And, you know, the last time I was here, I think we talked about saying about ourselves. And I am an international speaker now to parents of children. I just sent 3 bottles of my Avini Health Cell Defender to Thailand. The lady, I got up this morning and she said it has arrived. And she was so excited because her little boy is nonverbal. And that just blesses my heart because
Absolutely.
I know that this is helping so many people. So
It's very nice to see the fruits of your labor come back, especially when people are kind enough to actually say, thank you for helping me. That really did work. So congratulations. All right, Texas Oil Lady, you are next on my screen. What's up?
Hey, good afternoon. I'm Cindy Cowan, the Texas Oil Lady. I am a doTERRA wellness advocate and a certified animal aromatherapist. So one bottle, that $30 bottle of lavender can also help yourself be calm and your pets. One bottle, two avenues to use it with.
How did you arrive at Texas Oil Lady as your brand? How did that happen?
That was an accident. I think I told you the story, Kathy. Before COVID, I was meeting an in-person networking group called Master Networks. And one day, the closing of my soundbite, I said, Cindy Cowan, the doTERRA Wellness Advocate, I want to be your Texas Oil Lady. And everybody was like, oh. And one of my colleagues said, as he was looking at his phone, he goes, hey, texasoillady.com.net.biz, go buy it. And I did. Now what? But I was fortunate enough to have a accountability friend in that chapter, and she's a graphic artist, brander, social media person, and so we worked on it, and she was born.
I love that so much. And I really do, because when people say, oh, I met her accidentally, or it was random that I showed up that day, I'm always like, well, you can believe whatever works for you, but I never, ever think any of this is random. And I mean that with all my heart. This people on this screen are here today for a reason. And I love this. I mean that with all my heart. So please connect with each other if you haven't already.
I
I,
want to
um,
know, wait a minute, before she
oh.
goes on, what does that one thing say behind you? Powers to be. What's the rest of it say? Fearless in.
It's power to be fearless in 2023.
Oh, okay. I've been trying to
Yeah.
read that sign.
I had to.
I love it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
go ahead.
doTERRA came out with a list of powers to be and a bunch of different things, for us as advocates to cheer us on. And fearless was what spoke to my heart, because I'm tired of being afraid to do something, or afraid to ask or talk or be vulnerable. And I thought fearless in 2023 just kind of fit for me this year.
Sandy, that's a segue for you to tell everyone how to be able to see what's in people's screens if they can't, because the Zoom screen is too small. How do you do that?
Yeah, so if you sit there and hover over the right corner of anyone's screen, you'll get a little blue box with the 3 dots. So if you click on that, it gives you the opportunity to private message them or to pin them. When you pin them, it'll put them in like that speaker mode, and then you can read whatever's in the back.
And how
And
do
then,
you unpin them?
yes, and then Zoom has made it really easy to unpin them. There'll be a box that'll show up that'll sit there and say unpin. You just click that box and it goes back to normal.
Oh,
Excellent. Thank you so much. So whenever anything is too small to read in the background of anyone's Zoom screen,
you don't have to squint.
people on a screen, 49 thumbnails, and you're sitting here going, oh my gosh, what is that? Zoom has thought of so much. Now, the one thing Zoom hasn't done yet that is in beta testing that I absolutely need desperately.
The laundry. The laundry.
That's one.
Right.
That's
Okay.
one.
And then
I
the other
haven't
one.
found
Okay.
that to
Yep.
happen. But the next thing that's in beta testing is to not have repeats on speed networking. That's what I love, because I literally have to maneuver the rooms. And if I've got 49 people on a call for some of the groups that I do, And I was already with Susie and Billy and Joey and da 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 da. And I'm like, oh dear God. And so beta it's in there not to repeat when you've got breakout rooms. And other platform can do that already. So how come Zoom can't? They've thought of everything. The pinning is cool. The speaker view is cool. The spotlight for everyone is cool. The what is that word called? I just went blank. I can't do it when I'm not the host, but that picture thing, what is that called?
Oh, immersion.
Thank you. The immersive view is at the top,
Immersive.
the host of the call, and immersive is the coolest thing. It's super duper fun. And all of the things that Zoom has done, and to not have repeats in a breakout room, I feel should be easy, but it hasn't happened yet. But it is in beta testing. So stay tuned because we'll have speed networking someday. And I promise once they get it done, you won't have repeats. Sandy, tell us about you, my friend.
Yes, so my name is Sandy Abate. I own SCE Bookkeeping LLC, where I help small businesses in all stage of their business. Of course, when they're ready to outsource their bookkeeping, I can step right in and take that over. But my passion is really a step backwards from that. Those that are just starting out, those small businesses that are trying to do their books on their own. I developed a group this year that sits there and has an hour of bookkeeping training a month, an hour of question and answers a month, and then 8 opportunities that they can put the time on their calendar to come in and just work on the books. That way they don't have that excuse anymore that, a month, 2 months, a year has gone by and they haven't touched their books. It's not that they didn't want to, it's that they got so busy with people booking onto their calendars, them booking onto their calendars, and not making that time to sit down and do their books. Right now, the cost is only $20 to join my group. So anyone interested, just follow up with me after the meeting.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Look how much we can learn from each other, my friends. And I really seriously mean that. Everyone has their area of expertise. And sometimes we have several. And why, I can't figure out why would we keep that to ourselves? And just like Misty teaches us, when we learn something, we share it. And the next thing you know, somebody else, you hear them echo to someone else that needs help. And that whole crescendo keeps happening. That whole spiral, that whole fantastic opportunity, that whole stampede, it just keeps going. And so honestly, when we learn something, being able to share it, that's what Michelle created Coffee Club for. And back when we were meeting in person with Coffee Club, it was called literally Coffee Club Pop-Up. And all of a sudden she'd be in Lee Summit, then she'd be in Overland Park, then she'd be in Olathe, all around the Kansas City area. And it would pop up. And if you were available, you got to network with the people who popped up with you. And so that was the premise. And now the good news is we get to pop up here. So what would you like to have on Coffee Club? Okay, like what would you like trained on, or what would you like to see happen on Coffee Club?
I'm just going backwards for a moment. Kathy, you didn't do your pitch. I would like to see that happen here at Coffee Club, and then I will think about the next thing.
Okay, I am Kathy Weaver in Kansas City, Overland Park, Kansas, if you know the area, and I have been full-time for 15 years with a company called Enagic, the Kangen Water Company. In March, we celebrated our 49th year as an industry leader in water technology. I'm super duper excited for the 50th because it is literally going to rock the world. We're based in Osaka, Japan, located in 23 countries. These machines literally can last a lifetime. I've had mine again, 15 years. I would not give this up for anything in the world. They're very portable, which is cool. I literally pop it off my faucet, unhook it from the wall, put it in a backpack and carry it. I mean, seriously, TSA loves me. I always have the instruction manual there because they want to know what this thing is. And I have the instruction manual to show them it's a medical device from Japan. They wave me on. And the good news is I take my water with me. I either have a bag of water, which holds a gallon, or a bottle, depending upon where I'm going and who's going to be picking me up, because they always bring me fresh water in the car, the limo, wherever I am. And I always have Kangen water available. So it's really, really awesome to see how portable these units are and the longevity for sure. So if you don't have your Kangen water machine yet, I'd love to share this technology with you. Once again, I wouldn't be without it. I always say never leave home without it. And I don't. So please connect with me if you haven't already. All three of my books I've authored are actually on my YouTube channel, which means for you, they're free. Thank you, Misty. You are phenomenal. Thank you. And they have gone as far, I'm an international author because they've gone as far in hand as Australia. And being able to say that I'm in Chinchilla is kind of fun for me. So thank you very much. And all three of my books, including He Hit the Clouds Running and Never Looked Back. It's a death journey, basically what to say and what not to say when someone has died. It gives people an opportunity to use that as a platform if they have people they have lost in their life and they don't have a platform to talk about it. My books actually give them a platform. So I'm Kathy Weaver in Kansas City, and I would love to help you change your life one sip at a time. All right, so my friends, next up, what would you like to see at Coffee Club? And we can share that with Michelle. She's recording this actually, unless you are, Misty, who did that.
Yeah, I'm recording for her. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. And so that way she'll be able to see and hear what we would like to see on Coffee Club, because we are the regulars. So what would you like to see happen on Coffee Club? Speakers, topics, what would you like?
I would like to see Sandy give us a talk on bookkeeping, because the truth is we all need it and knowledge of it. And like for here in Australia, we're just getting to our tax season now. It starts in July, like starts from July. And yeah, I'd like to see have Sandy tell us more about bookkeeping and what we should be doing or looking out for or something like that.
Sandy, do you have a class or a course or even a white paper on something like numbers aren't my thing? Can you help me? Like, is there because I am a numbers person, so it's always hard for me when people say, how do you know how to do all that stuff? And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's my DNA. But there are people out there, and actually, this is for real. I have a person in my life whose checkbook I balanced for years, who said to my face, what are you talking about? I can't be out of money. I still have checks left. And I was like, OMG. So that is for real. So do you have a course or something that you could teach us? Numbers aren't my thing. Let me help you. Do you have something like that?
I do. I've got a couple different almost like index cards on topics that I can talk about.
Okay, perfect.
The next new one is going to be on what all can you track and how can you use that for your business.
Beautiful. Well, that sounds wonderful, Misty. And Sandy, if you're willing to do that, I know you have a class now where you teach this, but if you'd be willing to share with us on Coffee Club, then I'm sure we can get Michelle to get that connected for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Kathy and I, we might be able to sort that out. We know her. We could probably get whisper
better
in
in person. I know. Yeah, that's the best.
I
We'll
would
push
like
hard
to
for
know,
you, Sandy. We will make that happen.
I would like to know how Misty keeps up with everybody. Do you just have this long list, or have you got a program you put it in? How do you do that?
I have a book.
Tell us.
Actually, I
you have a
literally write it down. I have a book. So where are you? Most important book of mine. It's so last year I did nearly 3 books. I'm on my second one now, but I just call it networking events. Every event that I go to, and this is an index, right? Every event I go to, I write the name of the event, the date, and every person that's in it, right? And I try to fit it all on one page, right? No extra notes. These notes, this note of the date, the event, I didn't write the date, the event and the date, and these lists of people will correspond to just notes that I write in a notebook. So I can go back to a notebook to find out anything else I need to know, or a Zoom chat box. But this is an index. It's like a library. It's an index of all of the people that show up at each event. And then you start to get used to writing their names and knowing, oh, this person shows up here. This person's been missing for a while. And so I have these index lists. And then, so by itself, that's really good. But then when you start to look at it in a very particular way, like who you've had one-to-ones with, if you start to highlight who you've had one-to-one with, then you can look at that list and go, well, I had a one-to-one with these people. So I really need to start talking to the ones I haven't had one-to-ones with. So it'll actually teach you how to do that. So yeah, I run classes on that. I have a little YouTube on it, actually. on.
Oh, wait
what
just a
you-
moment. Wait just a moment. You have a YouTube channel, Misty?
I have a YouTube channel. I have a YouTube channel. I've now got 148 subscribers. Kathy's got over 600. Interesting. I've put the doggies up a few times. My golden retrievers running around like nutcases. Now that we've got a second one, Terry and her play. Kathy, seriously, you need to do a golden retriever video and put it on. One of them's at 770. It was like a week ago, which then pumped the other one up to over 550. And I'm like, you buggers, like, I don't mind that you're getting these views, but seriously, people need to press subscribe while they're viewing. Like, just subscribe. I'd have 700 subscribers. Like, I don't have 148 subscribers at 700 views. So
Hold 1 second. You'll notice on the back of my channel, I have a channel banner. Okay. If
Yeah.
you your channel banner, please subscribe. Thank you for subscribing, or click the subscribe button, whatever you would say in the background. People have to be told what to do.
I know, I'm heading that way now because of the
You-
puppies. I'm
Do
like,
you know how many views you've had total on your channel? Don't look. Do you know how many views you've had total on your channel?
me? No, but I'm going for
Right,
over.
3,789 views on your channel.
There you go. I was going to say I'm going over 2,000, maybe close to 3. So there you go.
Right, 3,789. So why do you not have 3,789 subscribers?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You do have to tell people. You have to tell them. If you don't tell them, they don't do it. They literally
So
don't do it
please
at all.
consider that. Yeah.
Oh.
And so when you've got that many on your subscriber list and certainly on your views, it's kind of like, you've got to be kidding me, dude. And also, that since you've got 100 views, if you had a channel banner, YouTube would actually let you customize your URL, because
Yeah.
right, Misty Hinkle 902, and you could actually be Misty Hinkle because you are, and be able to own your own URL.
Yep. So I put 7 videos up on Thursday. I thought I'm on the improve. I did 7 on Thursday.
Yes.
I tell you, YouTube has been on my mind all this week, and I'm taking clients like for coaching if they call me, but I'm not doing the extra work for the end of the month to end up with clients. If people call me, I'll do it. Other than that, YouTube is my space at the moment.
Well, the good news is I know that you interviewed Cindy Cowan. And so I took that video and put it on LinkedIn. And the reason I did that is, hello, cross-pollination, because Misty Hinkle tag got to talk to hashtag Texas Oil Lady @ Cindy Cowan. And you see what happens? And it takes them back to your YouTube channel, because when you do a YouTube video there, anything is transferable with the magic 3 dots. But if you send an MP4 somewhere, what does it say? File too large. OMG. It never says file too large when you do a YouTube. So I'm so thrilled for you guys. I really am. All right, friends, we are at the top of the hour. Sandy had, of course, please take a look. And there I'm looking at Misty for my card is so cool. I look at all your videos and I'm super happy for you to have them there, because it feels like we're connected even when it's not during the time we get to be together. So if you don't have a YouTube channel yet, or you're not utilizing it to the best of its ability, there's lots and lots of nuances. I have how to this and how to that on YouTube, but more importantly, so does YouTube. So type in, how do I this, or how do I that, or how do I something? And then you too can have a channel, because it is definitely worth it. People have found me accidentally, not only for Kangen Water, but certainly for networking. So I promise it's a platform that is huge times a million. So Misty, thank you honestly for recording this. I'm sure Michelle will love that. Having Sandy as our speaker. When's the next one of these, by the way?
2 weeks time.
Yeah, the 23rd of June. So please mark your calendar. That would be a great time to have Sandy if that works out. And anything about numbers, can you help me? And maybe that will be one of her topics. Yes, ma'am, Terry Ann.
On the 15th, I will be on my YouTube channel, by the way. Speaking of YouTube, I will be interviewing Miss Michelle.
Oh, neat.
Okay, now that needs to go everywhere. Okay, good.
Yeah. Excellent. Excellent.
That is excellent. That's great to know, as a matter of fact. So thank you for that. Ladies, be sure to give the chat. You'll see the picture posted soon. And Misty, thank you for doing the recording piece. And girls, like I say, it is the weekend for us here. Misty, do you know the capital of the United States of America? Don't look it up.
It's in Washington, D.C., isn't it? It's
Okay. So did you hear when Misty said the capital of Australia is Canberra? Maybe we wouldn't have known that. Maybe you do, I don't know. But does Misty know our capital as well? And yes, it is actually Washington, D.C. And that stands for District of Columbia, just in case you need to know. But we do have a capital of the United States. So you see how well versed this lady is? She just doesn't pop into networking stuff and go, oh, buy my sales training. She gets to know the guts of what's going on in our country as well. So thank you again for being here. And this is a dynamic opportunity to grow Coffee Club. Michelle would love to see us blow the doors off for the June 23rd event. So please invite your friends, not only as an opportunity for networking, but now we'll get to learn about bookkeeping. All right, save the chat, my friends. Bye, bye, bye for now, and have a great weekend. See you soon.
bye, ladies. See you.
Now.
You right, Nancy? I'll turn it off.
I'm sorry. Whoops.
That's all right. I'll turn it off because it's going to throw you out. Are you all right?
Okay.
Okay, see you.